All right, so we are going to get started on Battle of the Dunes in this Sunday Rumble number 24. Should be a rather exciting match, or at least we can all hope so. And let's get a quick rundown of ships here on the Crown Tyrant. Captain My Graphics 30 on the Glowwater Thralls team. We've got that double
Captain by
Mercury up
Scrimscraw, you mean?
front. Oh, it is Scrimstraw. Sorry, I just saw Graphics 30 and I assumed he was captaining because he usually does. Uh, so yes, Captain My Scrimstraw, double Merc with Gap Mortar on the side. And on the Bubblegum Field, Captain by Fiasco Total, we've got Gap Mortar front and double Mercury sides.
And on
Yep. Go ahead.
sorry, I just realized I have the teams on the right. Anyways, and on blue team SIRI, we have the AB. It is a Mobula with Artemis, Mercury Artemis long range, then inner wings, Gatling, Mortar for the close range. His ally, the Lud, he's a Junker with left side Hades, front Gatling, right side Gatling, Hades. Let me get the names switched on the stream.
You got him on the wrong color, I see. So, a lot of fire going on so far. The Ab, getting his, well, getting a lot of armor pierced there with those Mercuries. That's going to be happening quite often. It's really just a matter of how much damage can be dealt after that armor goes down. And with the Mobula, with the relative weakness of its hull, that's, it's going to get chipped away nice and slowly, but it's going to take a long time to do so with just these Mercuries that are being fired out currently. Most of the SIRI fire is concentrated currently on the Crown Tyrant. A lot of those Hades shots come raining on in. Hades is very good for a lot of different reasons. It'll spread fire on your ship, which is why if you can actually look at the Crown Tyrant, there's a lot of stuff that is currently chem sprayed. Chem spray, I would say, making quite a big comeback in usefulness. For a long time, chem spray just wasn't used, but with Hades spreading, I think it's 5 stacks on a hit, right?
I think it's variable, possibly.
Okay.
Mine's are 5 per hit.
Oh, okay. That might be what I thought of. Well, regardless, Hades will spread a lot of that fire around on your ship, and so your chem spray is a very effective tool against that, as long as you are able to keep everything sprayed. Otherwise, it's going to be very hard to put out fires with it. Now, Blood.
Or AB, AB taking a lot of damage here from those quad mercs from the Glowwater Thralls. You can see it already at about 60% permahull, with the Glowwater Thralls having taken no real damage.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised it's been doing that much damage. I guess with 4 mercs, you're going to be doing a lot if you're hitting most of them. And as I said before, the Mobula, not exactly the highest health ship either, so it makes a little bit of sense that it is going to get chipped away like that. And it looks like Orangey does recognize that he cannot just continue to sit out there. So far, mark 1 down for the Glowwater Thralls. They have forced SIRI to move from that end and forcing them to move around on the backside of this large piece of rubble, basically the only terrain on this entire map.
So I want to say before Glowwater Thralls decide to follow somewhere, you see this position that well, let me hide that. The position that the Thralls were holding with this double pyramidion. So what you want, like the idea behind having the inverse with the double Merc Gap Mortar inverse loadouts, where you have one with Merc on the front, one with Merc on the side, is it lets you hold kind of a T formation, which lets, at long range, lets both the Pyramidians get all 4 of those Mercuries onto a target, but also allows one of the Pyramidians to immediately turn and charge at somebody if they're coming in, because one of them has it on the front, so it gives one of them a little bit of an advantage that can protect the other. If
now,
I feel like that came out in sort of like a rambling mess, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of
if
just,
somebody's bearing down on their position, bubblegum filled gets to turn his close range side and just totally ram one of these junkers or Mobula into oblivion.
Absolutely. But what I was saying is that Bubblegum actually has had this Gatling down the entire time, and with no fighting going on, I'm really surprised that one of the engineers hasn't gone up to fix that yet. Oh, okay, finally gets it done. It's just a little bit strange that because you do want that front set of guns to be up just in case you are getting uh, ambushed or something comes from somewhere, and that front guns are suddenly a lot more useful. But thankfully they did manage to get it up. It was just a little bit strange to me that it was down for so long. Maybe they just didn't realize it. All right, so
Well,
Lud and
I mean,
Ab coming around on the side.
that is one thing about relying on, the side weapons is your upper deck engineers are going to be on the lower deck during any sort of sniping engagement.
Yeah, it was just a long break there, which is why I found it
And it looks like
to be
we've
a
had
little
the
bit peculiar.
teams now switch places on the map, which
Pretty much.
like
Pretty much, although it's a little bit closer ranged here. Ab is still getting... It looks like the Glowwater Thralls are definitely going after the Mobula anytime they can see it. But now some nice little shots going down
nice
on the Lud.
Hades fire coming from the HUD. The Lud.
Oh, that's actually... Yeah, it's actually
So that's an
every
important
single one of those
distinction you
connected.
brought up. Now this is a little bit closer range. Like those Mercuries on the Glowwater Thralls Pyramidians, those are the longest range weapons in the game. And certainly this game, they have a longer effective range than the Hades and a longer effective range than the longer absolute range than the Artemis. So now that this is at a closer range, now the blue team gets to use those Hades to full effect. And you see them doing now significantly more damage.
Ooh,
Whereas
the Lud actually got stuck in... They were just sitting in this dust cloud, and almost every single gun went down. I don't know if you saw that, but almost every single component went down on their ship there, and the Ab in the meantime is getting smashed here once again by the Crown Tyrant.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they're not dropping down. I mean, maybe there's... I think what the Lud is trying to do, they're trying to stay above the arcs of the Mercury field guns, or at least make it a little difficult for the other team to fire on them. But at the same time, they're like rising further into this dust cloud, which is destroying everything on their ship. So I'm not sure that's the best plan. I mean, sometimes those sand clouds can be difficult to sort of catch before, or sort of move out of the way before they catch your whole ship, especially if you're focusing on the other team. And I guess that's what happens. But it has passed, so hopefully we'll see everything on that junker come back into full repair.
Here comes another one, so we'll see if the Lud decides to sit in it again. I think they were mostly just trying to continually fire down at these Glowwater Thrall ships. But yeah, I don't... maybe it's... I feel like it's somewhat okay to, try to pass through those clouds. If you're constantly moving out of it, maybe try to maneuver around it. But if you're just sitting in the middle, that's... you're basically giving away free components there. Here we go, so Lud. Okay, this time they are just trying to sneak below it, so a little bit better there, not having pretty much every single engine and gun get thrown out of there, and still getting a few... Well, I guess they haven't really been shooting off at either of these ships.
Yeah, now just some sporadic Mercury fire coming in, a lot of it missing, although now we have spots on both the SIRI ships, so it should be more consistent. Nice full hits.
It's actually split fire going on right now, although I guess the bubblegum couldn't really fire at the Ab for a little while there, as it was this debris, this giant engine was in its way. A large amount of Hades fire hitting the the bubblegum there.
Yeah, good utilization of the terrain by the Glowwater Thralls, although unfortunately only the side Mercury Pyramidian can really take advantage of it. It looks like Crown Tyrant electing to use the curvature of the map instead, potentially dropping down if he takes a whole armor break. But yeah, man, those Hades, so brutal. And these Pyramidians are very... Like, one of the downsides of the Pyramidian, one reason that people say that the Junker is kind of a counter to the Pyr is the Pyr has a much larger, or much easier to hitbox for the whole armor.
Oh, Ab continually taking fire here. Its armor is down. Just a few more shots will take it down. Can it get its armor back up in time? barely manages to do so, but that armor is going to drop again. The Ab has to do something right now, otherwise it's going to... Ab... Uh-oh. Ab... Oh, it goes down to a single Mercury shot, ripping through both the armor and the hull at the same time, so the Ab just sat out in the open for a little bit too long, and they're going to have to change up a little bit of how they're approaching this. The Mobula just cannot be sitting out there in the middle of the map with nothing, just firing arcs just going on. They're gonna have to find out some way to hide behind terrain a little bit better. And oh my god, the Ab spawned right out in the open, way away from its teammate, and
Well,
this could be
he's.
very bad for the Ab.
I mean, they're pretty far away from the Pyramidians as well, but
Yeah, but those
unfortunately, it looks.
Mercuries,
Well, I mean,
those Mercuries have
both the
got
SIRI
range.
ships do have, like in the sniping war, the ships being apart isn't as big of a deal because you can still both fire in, even if you're on different sides of the map. You can focus the same target, but the problem is going to come in as you see these Pyramidians. They smell the blood in the water and they are booking it to where the blue Mobula is, and this is where
Yeah, they
it's going
absolutely
to
want to
become a
get there.
problem. Both of them
Now,
moonshining.
now the Ab does have its own Gat mortar, so are they actually going to be able to Olay here as the bubblegum drop down and the Ab is
I don't think so. I think the
trying to
Crown
run over
Tyrant.
top of it?
I think the Crown Tyrant
It's
is
just
ready to intercept.
Yeah, it's just actually gonna get stuck here between these two ships, and the Ab is going to get absolutely brutally murdered here as that Gat comes in. Oh, a little bit of a bump off the Crown
Ramping
Tyrant
it
there,
over the Tyrant
and
and up to
down
heaven.
goes the Ab once more. And now the Lud is right back in range as well, and this is not gonna go well for the series ships here. It's really just kind of falling apart at this point. Now we'll see where the Ab spawns, but at this point, okay, a little bit further away, close enough to might be able to get in here, or if the Lud can do a little bit of fancy maneuvering. And the Lud does have its own Gap mortar side, but it looks like it's just continually picking that Hades side instead, and that's not going to work very well, as that Gap mortar is going to come raining in. A lot of that mortar actually missing, but now the Crown Tyrant turning its side onto the Lud as well, and focus fire coming in from the Glowwater Thralls, and that Gap mortar, double Gap mortar, is so extremely effective.
Yeah, I feel like that was um, not the best positioning by the Lud. I mean, even once they're in that engagement, if you take advantage of the Pyrrha's low maneuverability, he probably could have gotten a kill on one of them if you strafe the right side with the Gatling mortar. But for some reason, just sticking on that Hades. I don't know if maybe the Mercury had taken out some of his engines or something to that effect. But yeah, I would have liked to see at least trading for one of the red ships. But
Yeah, with a little bit of nifty maneuvering, you can maybe get a single kill off, and hopefully try to make something of a bad situation. But instead, it's a 3-0 lead here for Glowwater Thralls, and they're backing up. I mean, they did know that the Ab. I think they knew that the Ab spawned in the back corner, but I guess they are a little bit worried about where the Lud was going to spawn, and so it's a little bit of a reprieve here from SIRI team. Glowwater Thralls didn't really, push their luck here. Try to get another quick kill on the Ab. Once the Mobula and the Chunker actually meet back up, it's once again a fairly formidable combination there. They both had their own Gap mortars, so it's probably not exactly what the Glowwater Thralls want to go on here, even though I think two Pirates can probably focus down the Mobula before one of them die.
yeah, yeah, and that is true. And you see the Glow Wide Thralls here electing to play it safe. They have a solid lead, a very strong lead actually. And now they've retreated back to behind this engine position that they were using earlier. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Blue Team decides to approach if they want to try to continue sniping or like maybe go into a close range engagement as a unit, because both those previous engagement it was sort of a meat grind where each of them were sort of running in by themselves and just getting obliterated. But if they go in together, I don't know. Maybe they can
Yeah, I mean,
catch one of the Pyramidians are fairly squishy, so they could potentially catch one of them off guard, and turn the engagement in their favor.
Well, more to the point, of pyramids are also clunky. They're gonna be hard to turn, and so if you can catch one of them on the side, maybe a side with no guns on it, you can possibly get something accomplished. All right, here we go. Lud now getting spotted by the Crown Tyrant, and
Like you see the
the Crown
Crown
Tyrant is
Tyrant.
actually way ahead of its teammate right now.
Yeah, if they just booked it down the Crown Tyrant, I mean, there might be some precious moments before the bubblegum field is able to actually turn to support him. But it looks like blue team wants to sit back and utilize their long range weaponry, which I think is, that again, that's the safer choice. People like to play conservatively on this map, and that's what we're seeing here.
Yep, and of course they're starting to use this old sunken, well, I can't really say sunken because there's no water, but old
Well, you can sink
wrecked
in sand.
battleship here. I suppose so, but it's abandoned and rusty and dead. Or this so. What I was trying to say is that SIRI is using this old battleship here for its cover, and it looks like the Crown Tyrant Bubblegum Field going to be using the curvature, the dunes of the map itself to try to avoid fire, although some of these Hades shots still hitting the Crown Tyrant here. Lud being the focus currently, as it's really being the only ship that's been spotted on the SIRI side. Lud taking quite a lot of fire, but they can drop below this wreckage anytime they want to avoid this you know, quite large barrage of mercury fire that's coming through.
Yeah, and so that's one of the advantage of this front sniper pyramidion, is that you can control your engaged distance. So those Hades shots, you see the Hades shots, they kind of arc downward, which means you need to, as a gunner on a Hades, you need to properly evaluate how far away your target is and adjust the height of your shots so they actually drop down and hit the target properly. But you see, as the Crown Tyrant's doing, if he moves back and forth, it actually changes the distance, so it messes up the Hades gunner's shots, and which is why you saw a lot of those shots missing just a moment ago. Like you see now,
Yep.
he's much closer, and those shots are just sailing overhead.
Yeah, Hades, one of those guns which is extremely effective if you can hit with it on a regular basis, but if you're missing a lot, it's getting it harder and harder to do really any sorts of damage. With Hades really depends on hitting with I would say at least 80% of your shots,
Oh yeah, it's kind of
and
like the
especially when you're
lumberjack
coming
in
in
that
with
way,
double. Yep.
or like the mortar before the range nerf.
Absolutely. Alright, so Crown Tyrant backing up here, avoiding those Hades shots. We talked about a lot of them. Look like, they're extremely close. So it's still fairly good Hades going there, but Crown Tyrant doing a good bit of maneuvering around, although it is taking quite a lot of damage here. Actually, its armor is down for a long time, and those Mercury shots are connecting shot after shot. So
He's unable to shake this spot, which is just making
yeah,
those Mercury shots just deadly. Although now he is now out of the effective
okay,
Artemis
he's out of range now. Yep, yep, all the way out of that range. So
See ya.
so got a little bit of reprieve there from those shots, but man, that was a lot of damage settling the Crown Tyrant.
Man, those big Pyramidian hitboxes, they can be such a liability in these sniper matches.
Absolutely. Now bubblegum filled is spotted here. We'll see if any of the shots come on into it. It's gonna have a little bit of a hard time to moving out of here because it's gotta turn and start moving if it wants to duck behind terrain. It really doesn't have anything to avoid these shots from, and with the Crown Tyrant being all the way back here, bubblegum field is going to be under heavy fire right now, and armor starting to get hit by Hades now as well. So bubblegum's gotta start moving here. Cannot just continue sitting here taking these shots. And there we go. Hades starting to miss.
They have the advantage of this engine here. If they move, I think that might be what they're doing. If they move behind it, they can try to shake this spot, which would be very beneficial, especially as those sand clouds roll in. Being unspotted makes you more or less unshootable. So
Oh
you can
yeah,
see the
but
spot
Lud have
going
actually
down there.
come forth in the meantime. They were probably trying to catch up to the Crown Tyrant, and this has forced them out into a wide open area where They have absolutely no cover from anything at all. They have no chance to dive behind dunes. They have no chance to dive behind any sort of terrain. So they are right out in the open. Glowwater Thralls can really take advantage of this, but they do have to be extremely careful as the Crown Tyrant is very
They're
low health as it is.
Siri's booking it, and this
Oh, and
is
Ab.
taking a
Yeah,
lot of damage in the process.
Ab took a large chunk of damage there. Balloon almost down and armor down. Now another set of mercury shots would have been extremely painful, but just manages to get around to the other side of this engine. And now Crown Tyrant and Bubblegum waiting for him. I think they're going to start turning to their brawly sides here as Bubblegum Phil is going to come right on up around, and they are going to be able to catch either of these ships that they want. Looks like they are going to go for the probably the better choice here, and the Crown Tyrant trying to come up in its own. So we got this nice little box of ships firing at each other here as Crown Tyrant going after the
Oh,
Lud.
nice ram.
Bubblegum Field going after the Ab. It looks like the Ab will go down right here. It does, and Crown Tyrant finish off the Lud for this final kill. Not quite yet, as the Lud is now turning on the Crown Tyrant. Just got to be extremely careful here. It's really low health. Bubblegum Filled turning around to face the Lud now. Can SIRI take at least this kill and get out of there before the Lud goes down? There's Gat raining on in. Crown Tyrant taking
Well, I don't think there's
that
any.
Gat fire.
There's no getting out of here at this point.
Yeah, it's either kill or be killed, and Crown Tyrant going to be rising on up with Lud nowhere in arc anymore, and I think this will probably spell the end for the Lud there, although the Ab has respawned, but the Lud's barely hanging on as armor down. Mortar shots come raining in, but not finishing it off quite yet. Lud escapes this time as that mortar came in late, and now Bubblegum Filled is getting a face full of the Abs. Got mortar from behind, and the Bubblegum Filled taking a lot of damage here. Lud managing to sneak around Bubblegum, getting its armor back up just in time. Crown Tyrant somehow lost its balloon. I'm not sure how. Now Bubblegum is going to be... not quite yet, not quite yet, not quite yet. And there it goes. Under the double Hades from the Lud. So SIRI pulling a rabbit out of its hat currently as the Crown Tyrant.
Oh, Crown Tyrant, he's going for a ram. He needs the quick kill on this Mobula, but his balloon gets knocked out.
He's not going to get it. Yeah, he's not going to get that. And we could have a quick turnaround here from SIRI as the Crown Tyrant goes crashing into the ground. Oh, not quite yet. Not quite yet. Okay. It may be just a soft landing. I thought
so
they were a lot more closer to it.
Like, one of the reasons we see this balloon on the Crown Tyrant... Oh.
And the Crown Tyrant goes down.
The balloon on the Crown Tyrant taking so much damage and seemingly being always in disrepair, is that when they're in close range, like the Crown Tyrant is the one with the snipers on the front, so when they're in close range, everyone is below deck. So there's nobody up there to sort of do a gradual repair on the balloon, so just that damage stacks up so quickly with nobody mitigating it, which is why we saw the balloon go down several times during that fight.
Yep.
Yeah, that it messed up a bunch of their rams, and that's an issue with this loadout.
Yep. SIRI doing a good job there. Lud, managing to just stay alive through that entire encounter, let the Ab respawn, and caught one of the Glowwater Thralls from behind with that Gap Mortar, and when you do that to Pyramidion, it's going to be very hard for the Pyramidion to survive it. So, fantastic job by SIRI there, starting their comeback, and I've seen a lot of 4-0 comebacks. It's not... Once again, you can't ever call a match in Guns of Icarus. It's one of the reasons why the game is so great.
Well, that is true, although this Mobula on the SIRI team is going to be the prime target.
Oh, but Bubblegum Field is actually getting a face full of the Ab as well. But Ab, just going to be able to get out of this? Maybe as the guy continues to come on down. No mortars yet. Crown Tyrant goes down once again. Can the Ab survive? And
where's the
turn
mortar?
Around for the Bubblegum Filled. Oh, no mortar coming in yet. Bubblegum Filled. Oh, the Ab getting caught from behind. Now, can it get out of its arcs of the Bubblegum?
He's going to follow him up with the Hydro. We could maybe...
Bubblegum getting hit by that mortar now from the Lud. But Ab barely
moments
he has alive here.
Oh, he's not going to be able to get the kill. He's going to lose his gun arcs again.
And we might have a quick 4-4 tie here as Lud raining down. Oh no, Ab, be careful. You don't want to be ramming into that.
The audacity. of
Yeah,
this
you
Mobula
gotta.
Ram.
Look, guys, even with a full armor up, if that was a full-on ram, the ab probably would have murdered itself there. But instead, bubblegum-filled gonna go down right there, and we got a 4-4 tie. So an insane turnaround here from SIRI, managing to get 4 extremely quick kills as the Glowwater Thralls were really trying to push on that Mobula and just weren't able to do it. And now, but
Just
the
the
one more shot will kill it right now, but just not going to be able to get it. Just not going to be able to get it. And it's going to be extremely hard for the ab to survive much of anything here. It's once that armor is down, that ab is going to get just obliterated almost immediately.
so much impatience from the Glowwater Thralls. I think that was one of the issues. You saw them just moonshining in, continuing to charge as their balloons took damage. A lot of liberal use of hydrogen. Like they're being so aggressive there, and I don't, you don't need to be that aggressive when you have such a strong lead. And the Siri team definitely took advantage of that, and yeah, equalizing the score here. But again, red team still, even though the kills are even, both the blue ships have just a ton of damage on them. So, like, in let's say what they're doing now, if they hang back with their Mercuries, it's not going to be difficult for the Glowwater Thralls to get a kill on one of these ships just poking away with that long range fire.
Absolutely. And we saw the ab go down as a first kill to just Mercury fire continually. You know, it took a little while, but that continual Merc fire took out the Mobula the first time around. So as I said, it's got to be extremely careful, and they had to back up there as they were sitting in a dust cloud at the same time as those Mercury fire was coming on in. Now Lud and Ab both still spotted here. Sometimes these spots don't make a whole lot of sense to me. You know, I really feel like you should be able to lose some of those spots, but uh, it takes a little while longer than I imagine that they would.
I think
Now Ab still getting fired here.
very little about the clouds in this game makes sense, to be completely honest.
Fair enough. Oh, Ab getting some shots in, 2 more, but only one of these will connect, and that armor comes back up just
Oh,
in
oh,
just by enough. Oh, those final 2 merc shots came in just at the right time. Oh my God, the Thralls managing to get those final shots in, blind
more like
firing
the
at that
Glowwater
point.
ghosts.
Oh my God, that was some crazy firing right there from the Glowwater Thralls, managing to finish this out after being up 4-0. Almost a crazy comeback for SIRI there. That was a fantastically played game by both sides. Yep, finally getting this started. Looks like the Glowwater Thralls are sticking with their Spire Pyramidion setup, even though it's Fiasco Spire, not Graphics 30. Usually Glowwater Thralls have Graphics 30 piloting that Spire. He does like them Spires, but we will get this match started here and give you some quick loadouts on the Crown Tyrant. Scrimscraw's ship. We got the Gat Mortar up front with double Artemis on this side, and on the There Is No Spoon, we've got a Lumberjack as the big heavy gun. We've also got Hades and a Flak with a flare gun on the side.
On the blue team Siri, we have the Queen's Verdict, a Galleon. Left side Lumberjack, Hwacha Artemis. Right side Hwacha Carronade with a rear flare gun. And his ally, the Lud, piloted by one Sols. We have a left side Artemis Hades, front Gatling, right side Gatling Mortar.
Yeah, so they're still sticking with that Gatling up front, which is, once again, a little
Crown
bit
Tyrant.
unconventional.
Crown Tyrant being a little dangerous here, poking ahead, seeing if he can conjure up any spots. Unable to do so. Not sure if he saw the blue team here. But it looks like he's backing up. Yeah, there's a flare coming from the Galleon.
Okay, there we go. Now Lud is getting spotted, and that Lumberjack and Hades coming on in.
Spire
Most of the Hades missing, though. Yeah, that Spire just getting that tiny little crack it needed to hit the Lud. Does get the Lumberjack shots in and knocked out the Lud's balloon, but that's all that happens there. Most of those Hades missed, and Lud's going to be a little bit dangerous, even if you get up close range to it. That Hades flat combination, I feel like, is going to be seeing a more and more of a comeback in the recent times.
Crown Tyrant coming in really high here.
There's a
Yeah, now
watch
dropping
barrage.
down.
Trying to get this onto the Spire, but most of it missing. Spire position just in a way where these shots are going to be very hard to connect, although Lud's connecting quite nicely with those Hades and Artemis shots currently, so Spire's got to be a little bit careful here, but Lud losing its balloon once more to the Lumberjack of the There Is No Spoon. Crown Tyrant poked its head out, decided nope, don't want any of that, and went right back into the clouds behind him.
Yeah, and it looks like now there's no Spoon realizing that position. He's not going to be able to get enough sustained fire onto the other team through that small crack, so he's retreating, meeting up with his ally. Crown Tyrant hasn't engaged at all yet, so it'll be interesting to see how Scrim Squad decides to approach this fight, because they do know, I mean, obviously they do know where blue team is now. That Spire is going to be so
getting
vulnerable.
Peppered by that Galleon, and oh, careful here, Spire. Watch a barrage just come raining on in, taking out that more Lumberjack, I believe. No, the Lumberjack looks like it's fine. It was the Hades that got taken out, but still constant fire going on down onto the Spire, crashing into the ground, taking huge gobs of damage, continual damage here from the ships, and Crown Tyrant still hasn't made a move. Then it's just being a steady barrage of fire onto the Spire. Crown Tyrant still not doing anything at all, not even trying to block shots possibly for his teammate. He might just be giving this up right now.
It looks like, well,
and the Spire goes down.
I want to say that maybe what the Glowwater Thralls were trying to do were trying to bait blue team into canyons, because you see the position that Crown Tyrant was holding would make it very easy for him to kind of come up behind anyone who charged in. And actually it looks like that's what the Lud is, charging into the canyons. But I'm not sure if Crown Tyrant sees him because he's still backing up. There's a spot going down. Spots going down on both teams.
Graphics 30 actually kept on disconnecting there. I think that's why the Crown Tyrant didn't go anywhere. Graphics 30 has DC looks like about 3 to 4 times here in the last few minutes. So unfortunately, that's possibly why the Crown Tyrant didn't go anywhere. Didn't want to go with one of his main engineers. So a little bit unfortunate side effect there. But looks like he's back on now, and still, unfortunate business there for the Glowwater Thralls team, as the Spire did go down, but it looks like Graphics 30 is stable now, so we should be able to get back into a steady game here. Of course, SIRI saying that, sorry, we didn't see what you said until now, which could very well be true, as I know damn well when you're on the ship, the last thing you're paying on attention to is that chat quite often in between these breaks. All right, so Lud and Queen's Verdict have come slightly into this canyon, but it looks like they're gonna go right back around this this mesa that you often see blue team hanging out around. And Crown Tyrant and There Is No Spoon. We'll see what they end up doing. It's like Spoon is slightly backing up into its own end. They may have been anticipating a little bit of a SIRI coming forth, as they were starting to do that when the Spire went down. But as I said, they're moving back into their own side. Although if they come around the side here and the Spire sees this, they're gonna have a grand old time shooting down balloons out of the side right here. All right, Queen's Verdict gonna be coming around through this tiny little pass here. There is no Spoon. Let's see if they manage to catch this approach at all. I think both teams may be hearing drums at this point. Maybe hearing those drums of battle. And it looks like Crown Tyrant going to be turning. They should finally get that spot onto the Lud, and Crown Tyrant getting the drop on the Lud. The Queen's Verdict is going to have to turn its broadside as quick as it can, but oh, nice ram on the Lud there, just slamming it all over the place there, and Lud's balloon armor, everything down. Hades coming on in, and that was an absolute destruction of the Lud there.
Those flags from the Spire obliterating the blue junker.
Absolutely, that was a complete obliteration of the Lud there. Just got caught coming on in by the Crown Tyrant, rammed into the side of the wall, and there's no spoon. Follow that up, and the Galleon gets caught, basically not being able to fire at all. It was going to be very hard for it to turn and fire into that small of a space, and that is exactly what the Glowwater Thralls needed, and they managed to catch it just at the right time before the two ships were able to come out here and set themselves up.
Yeah, the Spire, for that first engagement, seems kind of questionable from the Glowwater Thralls because that Spire, like the Spire is it's pretty squishy. It's slow. It's kind of got a tall target, so it's easy to hit. Um, so engaging sort of like in the open, in that like that opening between canyons and blue spawns would probably. I mean, we saw the Spire going down very quickly at the beginning of the match. But when they're engaging in the canyon, at that point, that's when the slim spire of the or slim profile of the Spire comes into play because it can get gun arcs much more easily than the galleon or the junker on the blue team because they sort of have to maneuver around these canyons. They can't get their multiple guns firing through gaps as easily. So you saw Crown Tyrant then engaging the junker, then the Spire from wherever it was pretty easily able to lend the support fire of all of its weapons, and he'll swing the engagement in their favor pretty quickly.
You know what I wouldn't have given to be a fly on the wall in these two teams when they saw each other coming right over there.
Hey man,
I have a feeling of a lot of oh Jesus coming out from both teams there as they notice each other basically right on top of each other already. And Crown Tyrant made a extremely quick decision to ram light into Rudd and to the Lud, and it worked out quite well.
well, you're in luck, my friend, because Madlald of the Glowwater Thralls generally does post up. He records all their matches from the crew perspective and generally posts that up. I actually don't know where he. I can't remember what his YouTube channel is called, but he usually
Oh, Crown Tyrant finding the
posts those
Queen's
up on the
Verdict, backing
forums.
up right now and catching it with his Hades, Lumberjack, everything. Crown Tyrant ramming into the Queen's
Moonshine.
Verdict. And that flak, light flak coming in and just absolute destruction of that galleon as the Glowwater Thralls once again managed to find the SIRI team positioning around here, but now Crown Tyrant's taking a lot of damage from the Lud, but Lud's taking quite a lot of fire in return. I'm not sure if the Lud's going to be able to get anything done here, as that Lumberjacks is just going to
Oh,
continue
beautiful.
slamming into that Lud, and light flak coming in once more, and just, oh my god, that is such destruction from the
Yeah, Grey
Glowwater
Knight.
Thrall teams.
Grey Knight on that Lumberjack, saving the Crown Tyrant, taking out the Junker's balloon. Beautiful play from the Glowwater Thralls. And also Tyrant, Scrimscraw flying the Crown Tyrant, being very careful not to ram into that wall, which probably would have ended him in something that a lot of pilots would perhaps do, especially with Moonshine, having to be very careful controlling his momentum.
Yeah, I mean, generally I'm not a big fan of ramming galleons, as the effectiveness is,
Limited.
yes, it's not always the greatest idea. It did end up working out there, though. I'm not sure it was extremely necessary. I think it may have slightly thrown off gun arcs from the Queen's Verdict, but they had already caught them from the back from the large part of that, and with that light flak raining on in along with the mortar from the Crown Tyrant, that was more than enough to finish off. What are they using for the ammo on that light flak? Hard to tell who's actually the
I think
one. Like Frostbound is up top, so Alien. Okay, they are using greased. All right.
greased, yeah.
Yeah, it's. I feel like that's probably the best option for the light flak currently. Burst is another ammo that some folks like, but that grease is just you're able to pump out those shots from the light flak so quickly,
I
and
mean
even if you need two clips of it.
the light flak you have to I mean it's so important to take advantage of the whole armor down window because light flak when the whole armor is up, it more or less does nothing. It only
Pretty much.
becomes, a deadly weapon when the whole armor's down. So you have a very small timing window to fire to get in those shots, and that's what the grease helps with by increasing the fire rate dramatically and just allowing you to just unload that clip in a matter of seconds.
Absolutely. I've actually been playing around somewhere with a Hades double light flak mobula. It's been a little bit fun playing around with that.
Crown
Um,
Tyrant and hmm, Crown
and
Tyrant
there's
on
this, but
another
yeah, they're
scouting mission.
well, they've I don't know, maybe they're trying to set up sort of pincer attacks here, although they've been very effective when they call Crown Tyrant moving on fourth here.
Oh,
What
they're on game point. They just want they want the quick kill, I
Um,
guess.
and they're doing this again. They did this last match and got punished for it quite severely. But let's see if the Crown Tyrant, another ram coming into that galleon. There's no spoon charging fourth now as well. But Crown Tyrant once again getting caught here. But
Oh man,
Queen's Verdict getting
what a
obliterated
charge!
by this
What an
fire coming
engagement!
around.
Just
Absolutely.
great timing, great teamwork from the Glowwater Thralls. All the guns on both ships, just perfect focus fire.
And
Really,
no hesitation either. As Crown Tyrant, as soon as it saw the galleon, it just came right on forward and followed up by There's No Spoon. Crown Tyrant was in a start getting in a little bit of a trouble there